hi everybody, welcome to this session. Thank you for being here. So my name's Ricky Patel. I'm a senior sales engineer here with ThoughtSpot. I've also got my esteemed colleague, Paul Frogart, on hand to answer any questions you may have as we go through the session and as you might put them into the chat. In this session, I'd like to talk to you about how ThoughtSpot are enabling our sort of customers and our partners to become more fact-driven, right? To unleash the data that's sitting inside the cloud data warehouses to the right people in the right place and at the right time. I've just got a couple of slides that I'd like to take you through just to show you a little bit about the problem statement that we are looking to solve. But most of the session will be a live demonstration of the product so you can really see the experience that we're enabling our users to have. So many organizations we talk to have done a lot in the past few months and the past few years to sort of modernize their data stack. They've done a lot by adopting cloud-native data warehouses like Snowflake, Google BigQuery, Redshift, and Azure Synapse. And with this, organizations have been able to cope with the explosion of data and the processing demands that these databases are constantly put under when you have these billions of data points in your database. Now, even with these great advancements in the data engineering side, there's been little innovation when it comes to that data consumption layer. So organizations, they find themselves in a place where the data on these new cloud data warehouses are still being delivered using traditional dashboards. Traditional dashboards, they can take a very long time. They typically require a pool of technical resources. A pool of technical resources are already stretched incredibly thin, and we cannot see the demands of data decreasing in the near or the long-term future. So why does this process take so long? So creating a dashboard or a report is no simple feat. It takes a skilled professional, like I mentioned, a typical analyst type persona, to connect to the data, to massage this data into sort of cubes or aggregates or marks before the insight then can be finally distributed out to those business SMEs. And then you find that the business SMEs and the analysts are in this never-ending feedback loop to get the reports in just the way that they want to see it. And again, when the business SMEs have a net new question, sometimes this cycle can start all over again. So it's a timely and an intensive process currently to deliver these sorts of dashboards. Now, what ThoughtSpot is eliminating is that expensive, unnecessary middleware layer. It's attempting to bring the knowledge workers and business users to the data directly so they can answer their own questions. This has the twofold impact. You unlock the power and the investment inside the cloud data warehouse, but you shift the role of this BI or analyst type persona from having to constantly service the needs of this never-ending pipeline of report building, and you move them to a much higher value add part of the business by enabling them to create and serve up access to data, really enabling true self-service for the front line. Now, take these two modes of searching the web. There's a reason why one of them, Google, has become a verb and a household name. They had created a simple, smart, scalable user interface, but critically, it appeals to any kind of user. Now, ThoughtSpot has revolutionized the BI world in the same way that Google has done to searching the web. But we've created a Google-like experience on top of the enterprise cloud data warehouse. So ThoughtSpot has elevated our partners and our customers past the traditional dashboard. So you can deliver the data the way the users want to see it. So if you've got requirements like certain users would want to see traditional dashboards, of course, we have you covered here. But however, if you want to enable your users to be able to ask any question of their data, potentially a question that has never been asked before, to drill deeper and deeper into the insights so they can find those granular data points that they need to make incremental gains to their business. You can enable this, and they can do this themselves, all in seconds. Now, critically, this type of experience of being able to search and find data needs to be where your users are. So we can offer this experience via 3 different mediums. We can use our native UI, which is most common for the sort of internal use cases. You can also access your data on a mobile app using iPhone or Android. So the data is always available where you are and when you're on the go. And finally, this sort of experience can be embedded into your applications. So you can use ThoughtSpot and its embedded capabilities to put that into your own sort of custom portal. So without further ado, let me sort of share my ThoughtSpot demo with you guys here as well. So let's take you through a day in the life of a particular user within ThoughtSpot. So I'm a marketing professional at a media and streaming company. Think along the lines of a Hulu or a Netflix. So I have a data set here containing clickstream information. I've got impressions, I've got campaigns, but no matter who I am, so whether I'm a casual data user, I'm an inquisitive, hungry data person, or I'm that super user analyst type persona, there's something for everyone within ThoughtSpot. So on the homepage, what you'll see on the right-hand side before I go there, the homepage that you see here has been automatically created by taking into account the user's preferences. So it takes into account what they're interested in, what they want to follow, and is presented this customized homepage. Now, adopting and adapting the user's experience is really important, and it's one of the core design principles that we have within the product. So what you can see on the right-hand side is what's trending. Oh, sorry about that. You can't see the screen. Can you see it now? Apologies for that. So let me go through. Hopefully, well, you can see the demo screen, so that'd be fantastic. So hopefully you can see that okay. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, apologies for that. So what you're seeing on the screen, as I mentioned, is a personalized homepage, and that's been built by taking into account the user's preferences. So on the sort of right-hand side, what you can see is everything that's trending. So this is insights being pushed to that end user. You can see trending pinboards and trending answers. Trending pinboards are like dashboards. It's a collection of visualizations that have been put together. And the trending answers are sort of one-time questions that people have asked of the data, and you can go back and see them. On the large part of the home screen here, you can see all the content that is being distributed by the community, and the user can toggle between what's out there, what they have marked as their favorites. They are following certain authors. So like you do in social media platforms, you follow certain people. You can filter the data on your favorite authors or favorite tags. Now, ThoughtSpot is a search and AI analytics company. So we have two ways of searching across the data. So one of them is you can search on pre-existing content. So you can search on everything that's available that has been pre-built out there in the community. You can also ask net new questions of the data and ask questions yourself. And we call this search data. So let's focus on search data. As a marketing professional, as I mentioned, we run different campaigns across 4 weekly cycles. So it's important to monitor the performance, how it's been, so we can make the relevant sort of improvements and adjustments as we're going forward. So think about an ads-based campaign. We're thinking about impressions, we're thinking about our clicks, and we're thinking about our conversions. So I can go into Ask Data, and I can very simply, using a search bar, hunt for the data that I want. So I can type in impressions. Let's type in clicks. I can look at this broken down by conversions as well. Now, maybe I want to then break this down by any time metric or any date metric that's available. So I can share this and see, let's break that down daily. And like we mentioned, we run our campaigns over the last 4 weeks. So the users can type in the last 4 weeks, whether it's the last 4 months, days, weeks, however they want to slice and dice these metrics and measurements, they can do that themselves. Now, what ThoughtSpot has done is taken the keywords that you've typed into here, it's mapped that down to the data and the data model that's being supported in the cloud data warehouse, and it's instantly bringing back those results. So our users, or the users of the ThoughtSpot platform, the experience, they're not expected to be visualization experts or dashboard developers. They can create their own content just with a few simple clicks. Now, if I wanted to create a dashboard, or as a pinboard as we call it, it's a simple click of this pin icon. So I can add this visualization. to my own pinboard and start to build the story that I want to build on the data. Now, if I want to change this visualization, because sometimes you need to change the visual to best fit the story that you want to tell, it's a simple click of the chart icon, and I can change it to any chart that I have available in the palette. So for example, a line and column chart. Now I can my two different metrics, which are my conversions, my total clicks, overlaid on top of my impressions. And I can pin that to my pinboard also. Now, if I want our users to go deeper and deeper into the data, maybe to see why a number is the way that it is, you have the concept of right-clicking and drill anywhere. So I can click on this impressions, do drill down, and now what you'll see is a list of attributes that the user can slice and dice by. This list of attributes hasn't been developed by an analyst. It's done by our machine learning and data algorithms to pick a list of the best next places that the user can go. So I can slice this metric here by campaign name, for example. And I can, of course, pin that to my pinboard. Now, if I want to see, for example, on 20th of January, my different campaign names, what age demographic I reached out to, again, I can just type that into search. ThoughtSpot will automatically pick the best fit visualization. So now I can see each of my campaigns that I had ran and how that broken down by each of the age groups. I can easily overlay a completely different metric. So if I wanted to see how much it was costing me to bring back some of these, to get to these conversions and impressions, I can type in cost per acquisition. And instead of a scatter chart, let's change this to a line and stacked column chart. And you can see that is presented to me just in a few simple clicks. Now we make the user's experience of this really simple, moving them to, instead of just consuming data, allowing them to have a conversation with their data. This experience is like very similar to what you would do in your personal lives in Google. You Google a bit of data, you see an answer, you ask the next, and you drill and drill and drill. But however, this is no simple task. Like behind the scenes, ThoughtSpot is taking into account a very complex data model, processing the data in the right way, so you get the right result at the right time. So if I, for example, click this information icon and I look at the query visualizer, what ThoughtSpot has done is a multi-part query. So we've gone to run one query here against the fact table. We've run a second query here against the same fact table, gone to the different dimension tables and outer join them together to bring that back. Now the end user or the business user doesn't need to know the complex join relationships and everything that happens behind the scene. They interact with this nice, clean, easy to use search bar. Now to improve the user's experience even further, and to make this experience even more autonomous, we have these machine-guided insights. So let's close this down. Let's look at another metric like cost, and let's see this broken down monthly. Now, what I can do here is I can see that my cost metric is trending up and down, and I can very quickly click on any 2 points in this data set and ask ThoughtSpot to help me out with this analysis. So I could sit here, like you saw before, ask lots and lots of questions, but wouldn't it be great if ThoughtSpot could find and surface these trends, correlations, and outliers for me? So by clicking between any 2 points, go into SpotIQ Analyze, any business user can lean on the experience of this automated insights engine to help them analyze the difference between data points. So that should be running now. Let me go into the analysis section here. Go into the one that I'd run a few seconds ago. So this was executed 6 seconds ago. And it's already ready for me to analyze. Now here, what ThoughtSpot has done is done just that. It's saying what are the reasons there could be a change between my cost between those 2 points. It's saying out that the 13 campaign values we had ran, there's been the biggest change between these 5, these 3 trending upwards and these 2 trending downwards. We're spending a lot in terms of our cost on these campaign contents. Now, if you like any of these visualizations, you can pin this to your pinboard. But we can also train our machine learning engine to become more and more relevant over time. So I can give this a thumbs down, or I can give this a thumbs up. So let's give this one a thumbs up because I like this insight here. let's give this one a thumbs down. And that's because I know that the change in campaign between these two selected points is relevant. So we can give it so it becomes over time more and more relevant. So let's open up the pin board that we had built together. So for example, let's go into the pin board. This is the analysis that we had built. So this is all live, real-time data being viewed on top of your cloud data warehouse. Now, that's really important because another one of the things that we have in the platform is strong sort of enterprise-wide security and governance. So it means any user that comes into here, that does a search, that does a view of the data, any interaction they have with inside the platform, we apply the right row and column level security so you can be confident that they can see only the data points that they're allowed to see. So we can interact with these charts just like I'd shown you before. So for example, if I was the author of this chart or this pin board was shared to me by the user, so we can share this back out to the community, any user can come in and still have that right click, drill down, drill anywhere capability. We can put this into presentation mode. So now I can go into the meeting that I had built these visualizations for. And as people in the meeting interact and have questions of that data, no longer do you have to say, well, let me come back to you in the next hour or in the day or so with that answer. You can always go in, right click, drill down, and use the search bar to ask more and more questions. Now, as mentioned before, ThoughtSpot needs to be where your users are. So we mentioned this is the native UI, the out-of-the-box UI. We also have a mobile application. We can also embed this entire experience to where your customers are, which could be a portal. So think about this burger delivery company, for example. They have many chains and many partners that they distribute out burgers by. So in the website, you've got this dashboard, and all of the metrics and information that you see on this dashboard is powered by ThoughtSpot. You can use our low-level SDKs and APIs to embed all of these different metrics out of the box using a chart or visualizations that you choose to have. You can also pass in filters. So for example, if I click this West filter, you can see the filters are passed into ThoughtSpot and all the data is updated. If I click on this average order value, for example, the other thing you can embed very, very quickly is instead of having to build charts of your own, you can embed the ThoughtSpot charts using a very few simple lines of code. The other thing you can do as well is embed the entire ThoughtSpot pinboard. So this is, again, with a very few simple lines of code, you can be confident of embedding this into your externally facing websites. Taking into account that row level and column level security, you can be confident that customers will only see the data that they're meant to see. So think about this burger delivery chain. They will have store managers and regional managers. Store managers should only see the store performance for their store. Regional managers should only see it for their region, and vice versa. So for example, a McDonald's store manager should not be able to see data from a Burger King store. So we have all of that built into the platform. So you build the pinboard once, you embed the pinboard once, but you can have hundreds of users coming into this platform and asking questions. Having the drill down capability as well is critical inside these dashboards. They are not static dashboards anymore. It's something that they can interact with fairly freely. And just like you saw before in the native UI, you can embed the entire search experience. So you can go into your website, you can embed the search bar into your portal, and as users log in, they can ask their own questions. So if this store manager came in and he wanted to see how his weekly sales are performing by the different product categories, off they go. They can ask the question, drill into the details of where sales were high, ask those new questions, pin them to their own pinboards, and really have a true self-service experience on top of their data. So the last couple of things I want to talk about just before we sort of wrap up is a little bit about us as an organization. So we were founded in 2012 by some of the brightest minds at Google. And we bought those two disruptive technologies that I mentioned in per the demo. So we brought search and AI-guided insights to the enterprise-wide data sets. Now, the organizations that we work with, small, medium, large. We work with organizations like Guten and Trivin, who have sort of sub 100 employees. We work with the large enterprise organizations as well, like Apple and MasterCard, who have thousands of employees, all coming in and searching on ThoughtSpot. We work with the four major cloud data warehouses, as mentioned, which is Google BigQuery, AWS Redshift, Azure Synapse, and also Snowflake. And we've been recognized by our technology partners for various sort of customer choice and innovation awards. We've had the privilege in the last year to be named a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for BI. And of note, we were the fastest ever vendor to reach the Leaders Quadrant and the first new vendor to reach there in the last 6 years. So just to sort of wrap up, with ThoughtSpot, seeing is believing. So I'd encourage all of you to sign up to our free 30-day trial, get connected to your data, inside your cloud data warehouse, and get searching. So thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening.